Hello everyone. Welcome to Law Excellence's initiative Current Affairs for Beginners. Let's start our today's session. Before starting our today's session, let us see what are the answers for the questions from our previous video. The first question is, consider the following statements. The responsibility of the disaster management in India's federal system is that of the state government. Yes. The apex body for disaster management in India is the National Disaster Management Authority. This statement is also correct. As both the statements were correct, the answer here is C, both 1 and 2. The next question is, consider the following statements. Bharatmala Pariyojana is a centrally sponsored and funded road and highways project of the Government of India. Yes. This program will subsume all existing highway projects including National Highway Development Project. This statement is also correct. A small correction, students. In the previous video, we have mentioned it as National Highway Development Authority. It is not National Highway Development Authority, but it is National Highway Development Project. So the answer, as both the statements were correct, the answer here is C. These are the topics that we are going to cover in our today's session. First, we'll see what is this prompt corrective action framework and what is meant by remission, and HELINA anti-tank guided missile, and what is this smart anti-airfield weapon. We'll see about Asian Games and what is this institution called NABARD, and Excise maître, and International Conference on Recent Advances in Food Processing Technology. Here I have to say that all these topics were not only taken from Hindu, but we have also taken from PIB, and one article I have taken, this prompt corrective action article I have taken from Business Times. Now let's start our today's session. The first article is based on, I have taken this article from Business Times. Banks to come out of prompt corrective action framework by this fiscal. So now we'll see what is meant by this prompt corrective action. Nowadays we are hearing about the non-performing assets, bad bank and all. So these are the bad situations for any bank. So when a commercial bank's financial condition worsens below a limit, then this RBI has issued a policy action guideline in the form of this prompt corrective action framework. These are the guidelines that will be applied when the commercial bank's financial condition has gone down below a level. And this framework will specify the trigger points or the level in which this RBI will intervene with this corrective action. Based on the level of 4 parameters, the central bank will intervene with this corrective action framework. Those 4 parameters were capital to risk weighted asset ratio, net non-performing assets, and return on assets, and leverage ratio. When these parameters reach the set of trigger points for a bank, then that means in terms of capital to risk weighted asset ratio, when they reach 9%, and when it comes to net non-performing assets, when they are between 10 to 15%, then the RBI will initiate this discretionary actions for the banks. And the RBI will also consider this return on asset, that means the asset quality and profitability, and the leverage of banks will also be monitored. And this prompt corrective action framework is applicable only to commercial banks and not extended to cooperative banks or non-banking financial companies. So when a bank has attained these trigger points, so what could be the discretionary actions or structured actions that will be taken by the Reserve Bank were like, it can be in the form of recapitalization, that means infusing capital into these banks to develop them back, or borrowing from interbank market in order to, or like merging the banks or amalgamating, or else liquidating the bank, that is selling off all the assets of the bank. These are some of the discretionary actions that can be taken by the Reserve Bank. Our next article is Exercise Maitri 2018 India-Thailand Joint Military Exercise concludes. This article I have taken from PIB. This Exercise Maitri is a 2-week-long joint military exercise between the Indian Army and the Royal Thai Army. This exercise is an annual event designed to strengthen the partnership between this Royal Thai Army and the Indian Army. As per this exercise, there is a cross training between both the armies, and the training will involve drills and various procedures involved in counter-insurgency and counter-terrorist operations in urban, rural and jungle terrain as per the United Nations mandate. From the prelims point of view, it is important to note down if any joint military exercise or any other naval exercise happens, and note down between which countries this exercise has happened. Here are some of the examples, like Ajaya Warrior is a joint military exercise between UK and India. Shakti is between India and France. Indra is between India and Russia. Ekoviran between India and Maldives. Hand in Hand is between India and China. Mitra Shakti is between India and Sri Lanka. Garuda Shakti between India, Indonesia, and Nomadic Elephant between Mongolia and India. There are various others also. Whenever these kind of military exercises appear or naval exercises appear in the paper, just note down them and between which countries this is being held. Our next article is International Conference on Recent Advances in Food Processing Technology. This article also I have taken it from PIB, and this comes under GS paper 3, that is Indian Economy, under the topic of food processing and related industries in India. So from the prelims point of view, we should know about this conference, and this conference was hosted by Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology, that is in Tanjavur in Tamil Nadu. This conference was held with a theme to double the farmers' income through food processing. This Indian Institute of Food Processing Technology is a premier national institute that is working under the administrative control of Ministry of Food Processing Industries. This institute was established to give solutions for preserving high moisture paddy, because paddy harvest season in southern India is coinciding with that of end of southwest monsoon. And scientists in this institute, they will also research in identifying the technologies for post-harvest processing and preserving the paddy. Our next article is Golden Start for India. India won its first gold of Asian Games 2018. What are these Asian Games? Asian Games are also known as Asiad. It is a continental multi-sport event that was held once in every 4 years between the athletes from all over Asia. And these games are the second largest multi-sport event after Olympic Games. And these games were being organized by Olympic Council of Asia. And this year, this Asian Games of 2018 were being hosted by Indonesia, and it is Indonesia's second time to host this Asian Games. And the speciality of this Asian Games 2018 is, for the first time, esports. It is a form of competition using video games, and cano polo will be contested as demonstration sports. And the next article is half of the farm households indebted, NABARD study. From this article, now we'll see what is this NABARD, National Bank for agricultural and rural development. From the name itself, we can say that it is an apex development financial institution in India, headquartered in Mumbai of Maharashtra. Based on the recommendations of Shivaraman Committee, this bank was established by implementing this National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development Act of 1981, and this was established in 1982 by implementing this act. This NABARD was entrusted with the matters related to policy, planning and operations in the field of credit for agriculture and other economic activities like industry development in rural areas of India. And this NABARD is active in developing financial inclusion policy, and it is also a member of Alliance for Financial Inclusion. The main work of this NABARD is to facilitate this credit flow for promoting and developing agriculture, small-scale industries, cottage and village industries, handicrafts and rural crafts, and to support all other economic activities, allied economic activities in rural areas by promoting sustainable rural development and securing the prosperity of rural areas. As I have said that when this organization was established, it is established to facilitate the credit flow for promoting and developing the agriculture and small scale industries and various other industries. Whereas this NABARD Amendment Bill of 2017 has replaced this small scale industries with micro enterprises, small and medium enterprise as defined in MSME Development Act of 2006. So that by allowing NABARD to provide financial assistance to the banks who are all providing loans to this MSMEs. Our next article is 2 indigenous weapon systems were tested. This comes under GS paper 3 under science and technology, indigenization of technology and developing new technology topics. From the prelims level, it is important to know about this smart anti-airfield weapon and anti-tank guided missile called HELINA. Now we'll see these. When it comes to any missiles or like any weapons, most of the prelims questions will be based on the specifications of these missiles or like any weapons or satellites or like this. So we should know the specifications of these. Now we'll see this. Like first one is HELINA. It is a helicopter launched version of NAG anti-tank guided missile. This missile was designed and developed by Indian Army under this Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, and this was manufactured by India's sole missile producer and state-owned Bharat Dynamics Limited. HELINA is one of the most advanced anti-tank weapons in the world. It is an anti-tank weapon, most advanced anti-tank weapon in the world, and it works on these points were important to know about HELINA. And it works on the principle of fire and forget, and it operates on lock on before launch mode with a range of 7 to 10 kilometers when after air launch. These are all the facts according to HELINA, and this technology is owned by very few nations. Very few nations possess this technology, and this was designed mainly to destroy modern main battle tanks and other heavily armored targets. And the next one is this smart anti-airfield weapon. This is the India's first fully indigenous anti-airfield weapon project. Anti-airfield weapon project that was developed by state-run DRDO in collaboration with Indian Air Force and the Research Center of Emarat. It is just tested and it will soon be inducted into the armed forces. This smart anti-airfield weapon is a long-range, lightweight, high-precision, guided anti-airfield weapon. It is 120 kg smart weapon which is capable of engaging the ground targets with a very high precision up to the range of 100 kilometers. That means this weapon is capable of destroying the ground targets. Our next article is Give Perarivalan Remission Data. From this article we'll see what is this remission. Under Article 72, the Constitution has empowered the President to grant pardons, reprieves, remission, commutation, and respite of punishment. Pardon means a complete pardon. That means absolving the offender from all the punishments and disqualifications, which means complete absolvement, allowing the offender of crime and letting him go free. The pardoned criminal will be like a normal citizen. And then it is reprieve. This means a stay on the execution of sentence temporarily. Usually this is done in the case of death sentences. That means giving time for the guilty to prove himself as innocence and apply for the mercy of the presidential pardon. And the next one is remission. Remission in the sense it's like lessening or reducing the amount of punishment without changing its character. For example, a person is sentenced with a 10 years rigorous imprisonment. And if the person was granted remission, then the jail term of the person will be reduced to below 10 years, but it is of same character, that is of rigorous punishment. Let it be 5 years. When this remission was guaranteed, then his jail term was reduced to 5 years rigorous imprisonment from 10 years of rigorous imprisonment. The next one is commutation. Commutation is substitution of one form of punishment with the other form. For example, a person is awarded with a death sentence, and then by commuting the punishment, it can be to a rigorous life term. That means the death sentence was changed to rigorous life term imprisonment. And the next one is respite. Respite is awarding a lesser sentences based on special circumstances. For example, there is a female offender and due to her pregnancy or any other disability or any other reasons, then the punishment awarded her will be reduced. This is called as respite. This will be used during the special circumstances only. Now let's see our today's questions. The first question is based on joint military exercises and between which countries this exercise will happen. So try to answer this question. I've given like maître between India and Thailand, Yudh Abhyas India and China, Surya Kiran India Nepal. So which of the above pairs is or correctly matched? The next question is on NABARD. NABARD is a member of the Alliance for Financial Inclusion. It serves as an apex financing agency for the institutions providing investment and production credit for promoting the various developmental activities in rural areas. Try to answer these questions and post the answers in the comment box. The detailed explanation for these questions will be done in the tomorrow's video. This is our Law Excellence website where you can access the notes, and this is our official Telegram channel where you can see the video as well as notes. Thank you.